So in terms of editing and camera shots, so in terms of editing, we have fast pace cutting and fast cutting, and also cross cutting as well. So like we put shots in between certain cuts, certain shots, and make it shorter, so it's really quick. So when Megan is running, um, actually no, when Flora is thinking, we have different shots just pop up quickly in between. It creates a sense of urgency, like almost something scary is about to happen. It builds that suspense, it builds that climax. So then when the last final scene of Flora blowing out the candle, it's that the audience knows that so much more is going to occur in this film, which then reinforces the element of horror trailers, and they don't show all of the narrative within the trailer. And with using fast editing, you're able to show lots of different shots, which then gives the audience a sense of what what disturbing things could occur. Also had longer takes, and this was to build a sense of the story and set like locations, in terms of the fact that we had like, it was quite slower when Flora's playing with the doll, and it's like point of view shot of the doll looking at Flora as well. So we wanted her to appear more innocent at the start, and also when you got the shots of her and she's praying, we wanted it to be more slow, more calm, so that when the shocking scenes come, there's a we wanted to create a larger impact on the audience. And also in terms of the fact that we put we intercutted, we did loads of intercutting, and this is shown when Megan is running also. And you've got like scenes of Flora turning towards the camera, and when she's strangling the doll, and also the use of slow motion also emphasized that element of it reinforced the sinister persona of Flora, which we wanted to get across to the audience. So through using a lot of intercuts and fast cuts in between different shots, we were able to then talk about angles as well as scenes and narratives. So in terms of angles, we had point of view shots to put the audience in the position of Flora as a villain. So it almost puts the audience straight away in an uncomfortable position, because they see Flora washing her hands, and it's almost from a high angle point of view, almost as if it could be you, the audience, as you're watching, washing your hands. So it's like you have become the killer, which is effective because the audience will just become even more uncomfortable due to the blood shown, the explicit imagery. And this is why we decided to follow this convention of using point of view shots, as it positions the audience in an uncomfortable position, just like Halloween 1978, when you had the point of view shot of Michael wearing a mask, which was one of my favourite films, which is why I did put this suggestion forward in terms of using lots of point of view shots, because I thought it was extremely effective in horror films, especially Halloween. And oh yeah, and also to reinforce the element of shock, that the audience will realise it's her, as it's her hand, so you can tell straight away. Whereas in other horror films they may have tried to hide it, we wanted to blatantly make it obvious it was Flora, so it'd be even more shocking due to the fact that she's a child, and it's not, people expect children, society expects children to be innocent and young and innocent and cute and not know the dangers of the world. But obviously you can see that Flora's been tainted, which leads her to go on this killing spree. In terms of scenes, the conventional scenes that we have would be like the chase scene and psychiatrist scene. The chase scene leads to the pace of cutting, in the fact that we was able to do lots of different variety of shots with of Megan running, so like a point of view shot of her feet, a long shot of her running. This was not only incorporating a variety of different angles, but also built that sense of urgency, which is often evident in trailers in general, but also horror trailers. So we wanted to follow that convention in terms of being able to build that sense of story and build a sense of urgency and create suspense, create tension. And the psychiatrist scene, this often is good. When I was watching different horrors, I realized that it often helps establish what is wrong with the character. So you just see two people talking, and then suddenly, when a question is asked, you have that element of music which then builds as soon as the perpetrator responds. So when writing a script, I followed this element conventionally as well because I wanted it to be effective. Because in horror trailers, every word, every element of dialogue will create an impact because there's not a lot of words used. So when she's like, "You wouldn't want to know," it tells the audience straight away that she killed the father, and that's what we wanted to create. And it's that almost that element of mystery which is prevalent in horror that we wanted to create, which is why we can follow this convention of using the psychiatrist scene. Give the audience a sense of who Flora is and set the narrative, set the plot